Okay, important point. You're not the only living thing inside of this pyramid. I mentioned animals before that are roaming about the place to make your life miserable. How they survive so long in a pyramid that's been lost for however many hundreds or thousands of years, I have no idea. Or maybe they're desert animals that just wandered into the pyramid. The author of the game doesn't let the animals get killed, being opposed to using computers to kill things, which I didn't know was a prevalent thing in 1987. But then in 1987, I was kind of busy not existing. First up is the lioness. These aren't too bad. They'll maul you a few times and run off, basically. Annoying, yes, but not usually game-ending. I don't really have any tips for them since they don't usually seem to be very much trouble. According to the game, methods vary. Using a bullwhip to scare them, throwing something at them, throwing them food to placate them. But I don't usually bother with that. It seems like they have little areas that they like to stick to. Second off is the cobras. These things will poison you. If they bite you once, it stops your health regeneration. Yes, this game does have slight health regeneration. And the more bites you have after that, the more your health will go down over time. I'm not quite sure what you do about cobras, to be perfectly honest. But like the lionesses, they seem to be territorial and only stick to one certain area of the floor. And the poison does seem to wear off on its own eventually, though it does take a while. If you have some snakebite cure, that's a much quicker way to take care of that. One swig for every bite. I was going to save item spoilers for later, but it's explicitly called snakebite cure. You're not going to use it as a bug repellent or something. The third animal in this game, and the worst one of them all, is... well, look at this thing. Tell me what you think that is. No, go on, guess. I'll give you a minute. Yeah, your time's up. That's a monkey. Yeah, that's supposed to be a monkey. That is the scariest monkey I have ever seen in my life. The monkey is fucking annoying. It will steal random items from you, wander around for a while holding them, and then drop them heaven knows where in the pyramid. And if you're out of items, the monkey will taunt you with a twit to your nose. That's in the game. That's a quote. A twit to your nose. What's that you say? That doesn't seem so bad? It doesn't hurt you? Well, when it steals your food, the key, or a relic of Ra, you will be pissed at that monkey, as it takes it to heaven knows where and drops it off. And Ra help you if there's more than one monkey. The only way to know true hatred for monkeys is to play this game. The worst thing a monkey's ever done to me is take the Scarab from me while the Guardian was still chasing me around. That completely screwed me over and forced me to quit. I had no chance to survive with the Guardian chasing me without the one thing they're weak against. Supposedly you can throw gold at a monkey to get it to leave you alone or drop items, but I threw 400 ounces of gold to a monkey once, and the greedy SOM didn't drop my items. That'd be son of a monkey. So I don't know how to stop these conniving, thieving monkeys, I just know that I hate them. Last but not least, we have the mummies, also known as the Guardians. As long as you can see them coming, they're not bad, but if they do sneak up on you, they'll drain a third of your health with a single electrifying attack. You know, I didn't know mummies shocked people. These things start chasing you from the very moment you pick the Scarab up. There'll be a mummy on each floor, including the floor you pick the Scarab up on, like it spawns from nowhere the moment you touch it. But then with warping doors and mysterious ancient bank deposits, what can't happen? Plug your ears if you really don't like spoilers now. This one's bigger than the one on a super bird. You know how the game mentioned the Scarab is your best defense against the Guardians? Well, what you have to do is face the Guardian, wait for it to get right next to you, one of the only times the wait button is useful, and then throw the Scarab one space, and only one space. This will make it crumble to dust. Isn't that killing it? The creator didn't want computers used to kill things. Well, the Guardians, to quote the author, are already dead anyways. Do not throw the Scarab farther than one space. If you try and throw the Scarab farther than one space at a Guardian in the distance, there's a chance the Scarab could miss and shatter, and then you are completely boned. You have no way to take care of the Guardian who still wants to kill you, so then you might as well quit because you're as good as dead. There are also several traps hiding on the floor of the pyramid. Sometimes you see them, sometimes you don't. If you can see them, you can try to disarm them with a 10-foot pole, or throw a plank onto them to walk over them safely. You walk onto the plank, turn the direction you want to go, then you take the plank from under your feet, and then walk off the trap. The game just hand waves this by explaining you're putting yourself through school working as a contortionist at a local sideshow. Yay for video game logic. The wind trap will blow out your lantern, assuming it hasn't already run out of oil at this point, possibly making you spill a little bit of oil. Your character seems rather clumsy lighting or putting out the lantern for some strange reason. Regardless, it's probably the best trap to run into. It doesn't really do all that much. A spear trap, well, does exactly what it says it does. It shoots you with a freaking spear, hurting you and lowering your health. Yes, this is bad, but it doesn't really have any lasting effect aside from that. Unless, of course, it kills you. The poison dart trap will poison you. Same effect as the snakes. If you use a little bit of logic, you'll know what item to use to take care of that problem. And last on our list of traps is the water trap. I hate this thing. You know how I was talking about how the game keeps a map of everywhere you've been and everywhere you've looked? This trap ruins your map. It's like going past the speed of 5, except you don't even keep the previous parts of your map that you've done. It makes you lost, no matter where you are, and the only way to start the map again is to go back to the beginning of the level, or to advance to the next level and start a new one. It destroys your map, and I hate this trap with a fiery passion, the flames of which are only fed more by each accursed wave of dihydrogen monoxide that gets dropped on me by this stupid trap. The farther into the game you are, the worse it is, too. Imagine being in a 20 by 20 maze and you're right smack in the middle of it and BAM! Water trap ruins your map. I suppose if you kept your own pencil and paper map outside the game or something, you could avoid this problem, but that's way too much trouble for me to go to for a short little roguelike game. It would take more time to write the map than to play the game, and besides, keeping your own pencil and paper map would kinda ruin the atmosphere of the game, wouldn't it? It would just be cheating. So I let this thing destroy my map even though I hate it. Just because it makes it more realistic that way and more challenging. But still, this is probably one of the worst environmental hazards in a game I have ever witnessed. Lastly, we'll cover the detritus, thank you Merriam-Webster for the pronunciation, left behind by the previous explorers, along with other important items. Food. Pick it up. Just seriously pick it up. You have to have food if you don't want to die a slow, agonizing death due to starvation, so if you see it, grab it. End of story. Whether it's an ounce or 10, food is good. Though if you're unlucky, it might not always be safe to pick up. On the subject of food, there are also small melons scattered about the pyramid. I guess some of the explorers decided that melons are their best food resource. Sometimes, though, these will explode when you try to pick them up and pelt you with seed shrapnel instead of giving you delicious, yummy food, chipping a slight bit of health away. They don't fill you up much, but unless I'm concerned about health, I'll try to pick them up anyways. They're light, and once you have them, they're perfectly safe to eat. This is the first aid kit. It's the only way to recover health short of walking or waiting around while you're unpoisoned. Oh, that's not a word, office? Fine, while you're not poisoned. It also ranges from one use to many, which would be a good thing for the get info command to tell you, but it doesn't. It's just random whether it runs out or not when you use it, it seems like. This is the key. Unless you like not progressing, you're going to pick it up. Though sometimes it's best to not pick it up until you're going to exit, especially if you're near the end and still have places to explore. Why is that? Monkeys won't move items on the ground. They only steal items from you because they steal things from you for the fun of it, for the sake of stealing. So there is that. I usually just pick it up when I find it anyways, though. Unless you use the notes feature on your map, you're gonna forget, and that water trap could ruin your map, and then you'll have no clue where it is. Ah, gold. Not all that glitters is gold, as they say. Except in this game. This is the only thing that glitters. They come in piles ranging from a single ounce, yes, I have had that happen, to hundreds. It can get heavy, but if you can deposit it, it's a great score boost. Just don't get too greedy, it'll slow you down and make you starve if you're not careful, or you don't find a deposit for a while. They say greed can kill, and indeed it can. The oil, assuming a monkey didn't steal your lantern, will fill up said lantern. Speaking of the lantern, as far as I know, it's completely irreplaceable. I've never found a spare lantern or any other source of light in any game of Scarab I've ever played in my life. Which is really, really odd. Did all the other explorers just come down in the dark? I thought Mississippi Smith was bad at preparing, but at least he brought a light. Even if the light stays on for less time than my old Sega Nomad, at least he brought something to see with. And next up on our list of items is... Oh, what is that? The animals aren't... Oh, no, wait, that's just charcoal. You can use it to write messages on the walls, but I've never used them for that. Pick them up, though. They're great for having an almost useless item that weighs next to nothing. That doesn't really sound like something you'd want, but the monkeys steal items totally at random, so charcoal is absolutely perfect for that reason. There are random messages that do show up, like, this is the path to the exit, this isn't the path to the exit, Kilroy was here, but they're all pretty useless and aren't even guaranteed to be accurate. Yes, I know this isn't the path to the exit, it's a dead end. Thank you for being completely obvious. This is Snakebite Cure. It's light, it has a good use, and it's a non-essential item for the monkey to grab besides your relics, food, or key. So grab it, it's great any way you look at it. But like the first aid kit, you never really know how much more Snakebite Cure you have in a given bottle. It seems to have a random chance of running out when you use it. This is the Bullwhip. It's light, so pick it up. It's another item the monkey can steal that you won't care is gone. Aside from living out your Indiana Jones fantasies, it can supposedly be used to scare the animals off, but I usually end up digging myself in a deeper hole when I try it by accidentally waking up some other nearby animal, usually a monkey. Here is a compass. This gives you the passive ability to know which direction you're facing at any time, even if, say, your map is ruined, which can be helpful sometimes. Even if you already have it, pick it up anyways. It weighs almost literally nothing, and it's another random item for the monkey to grab besides your essentials. Ooh, it's one of my favorite items, the net. It's kind of bulky but super useful. What do I use them on? Usually monkeys. It's the easiest way to get your items back from the damn things, or stop them from getting their filthy hands on your pilfered, hard-earned goods in the first place. Also, doesn't this kill the animals? I mean, you're netting them, which means they'll slowly starve to death. I guess the immediate result is more family-friendly than, say, just shooting them in the head, but the long-term ramifications are worse. Someone's gonna find a monkey skeleton in a net years down the road. Also, I wonder if you could net the Guardians. That would be amusing. Normally, in real life, a plank would probably be pretty useless, but in this game, as I mentioned before, you can use it to safely walk over traps, although the plank is rather heavy, so I wouldn't carry multiples of it around. At the most 2, but I'm not even sure about that. The 10-foot pole is also a somewhat bulky item if just for its sheer length, which proves that weight doesn't necessarily mean how heavy everything is, but just how hard it is to carry. The 10-foot pole can be used to disarm traps. Unfortunately, it can break, so it's not as reliable as the plank. If it breaks, get rid of it. It's not useful anymore, unless you can afford to carry it around as monkey fodder. It's also random whether it works on a trap or not. You can also poke animals with it, but I think all it does is make them mad. Whoa, wait, is this a gun? Looks like a rifle. I thought there was no violence towards the animals in this game. Well, actually, it's an anesthetic dart gun. They also spelled anesthetic wrong. Boy, I'm nitpicking if I'm spotting these little typos. It's really bulky, though, and it's only useful if you can also find darts for it. If you can, though, you can use it to put the animals to sleep. I'm assuming temporarily. I don't have any footage of it because I could never find the gun and darts in the same game. Like, ever. And the one time I did, I didn't run into any animals before I had to quit due to hunger or some other reason. So it can be useful if you're lucky, but it's bulky and a pain in the ass to carry around. Not sure if you have to load the darts first or not either, but just throwing that out there. So that's Scarab of RA. Is it fun? Well, I think so, but I have a heavy nostalgic bias. Is it luck-based? Of course it is, it's a roguelike. Is it frustrating? Of course it is, it's a roguelike. Did this game make me hate monkeys for a while? Yes. Yes, it did. But I still love it, and it still takes me back to my childhood. Oh, and if you lose a relic in a game, don't give up on it. One of my highest scores is actually in a game where a monkey actually stole one of the relics, so you don't necessarily have to win to get a really good prestige score. Regardless of the frustrations, though, it still brings me back for a game once in a while, even if it's just for old time's sake. This is Tanara Kuranov, signing out. Be sure to join me next time on the next episode of Gamer Mouse.